India has begun one of the largest vaccination drives in the world. It's aiming to vaccinate about 300 million people by August in its fight against COVID-19. About 20 million healthcare workers will get the jab during the first phase. The South Asian country has about 1.3 billion people. That's the population size. Let's talk more about this then. In fact, you have a live update. Bring in Prasad Kunduri. He's a former senior associate editor at the Tribune India, joining us from Delhi tonight. Prasad, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. So 300 million people the government is aiming to vaccinate by August, a massive undertaking. How are they going on with it?
Well, first and foremost, good evening to all of you and to your viewers. Well, it just began this morning and the Prime Minister rolled out the program, a very ambitious one at that. As you mentioned the figures, by probably end of July, early to August, 300 million people. Today was day one, and the target was like 300,000 people. People estimate, as the government told us a little while ago, was probably close to 1.65 lakhs, 165,000 people, which is about 55% of the people were targeted. People were ones who took the vaccine. Some of them were top-ranking doctors, including the one who's crafting the entire COVID management strategy, Dr. V.K. Paul, who belongs to the Niti Aayog, which is a think tank for the government of India, and the Director General or the Director of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, the premier medical institute in New Delhi. So it's moving on. We just about begun. Probably 55% plus. The figures, when they come up later tonight, might go up to probably 200,000 people. A little less than the estimate, but these are early days.
And of course, the Indian government has approved for emergency use 2 vaccines, the Oxford AstraZeneca one. There's also a locally produced jab by the name of Covaxin, I believe. Now, that sparked some controversy because as it's being rolled out, the pharmaceutical company had not completed the 3rd phase of the trials. How is that affecting confidence in the safety of the vaccines among the Indian population?
Well, I think the Covishield and the Covaxin, the two vaccines that are being rolled out, as you rightly said, the one is in stage 3 of trials. And as per the government declaration, at the time of being injected the jab, people have to be told that this is a stage 3 trial. So that's something which is just about coming up. And there are fewer people who are going to enroll themselves. They are the clinical data that's well, but Bharat Biotech, which is producing that, is pretty confident that their vaccine is pretty effective and efficacy levels are high. But as I mentioned, the studies have just about begun. There have been a lot of buzz, both in the social media and among the people, asking about the efficacy. So these are questions very natural in a democratic setting.
And the government will be relying, Prasad, as they continue this massive vaccination program, on an app that will then allow people ease of registration and ease of use, if you will, by the healthcare workers who will be rolling out the vaccinations.
Yeah. As the government of India has said that they're going to look into an app which is called as CoWIN, C-O-W-I-N, which is a COVID window, whatever you might like to say that. And one has to register. And remember, it's a voluntary process. The government of India is saying that it's voluntary. You're welcome to step forward and register yourself. The priority, of course, is the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, which includes the doctors, medical staff, the paramedical staff, the sanitation workers, and probably the law enforcement people like the police and others who have been in the front lines of managing the COVID during the last 1 year almost. So this is where the parameters look like. As I said, this was day one, and probably the whole week they will say 4 days have been earmarked for it. Because of the protocols in place, not more than 100 people at a vaccine center in a day. So all these are being factored in.
Prasad Kunduri, a former senior associate editor at the Tribune India in New Delhi tonight. Thank you so much for your time.